should have seen me yesterday trying to...
No, you look cute now. What's your name?
Tracy.
Okay, what do you do, Tracy?
Well, I'm a plus size model.
No, Tracy's a cook, and she cooks very well. Because I just saw some of her
Model,
food.
a chef, and a business owner.
There you go.
I'm an entrepreneur, a fempreneur.
Yeah, she one of them independent American women. She don't need a man or a husband.
I need a man. I'm gonna cook for my baby.
Hey, by the way, yes. Actually, she cooks great. I just looked at her food. And I'm like, what are you doing? You could have been making so much money.
Ladies and germs, the slow travel journey continues on the Thinking Man's channel. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you have not done so already. Why? It is free to subscribe. Then make sure you share the video. Absolutely want to hit that like button. Make sure that you drop your comments below. Make sure that you get the ebooks that I have on living abroad, travel, and dating, as well as, most importantly, the cheat sheet to financial freedom, so you can have the ability to travel and live however you want. So, as I usually say, let's go. Hey man, some of you, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know, every once in a while I'll do a title like Looking for Trouble, whether I was in Brazil, whether I was in Colombia, Dominican Republic. Now, before I had this channel, I've been to a lot of other countries too, right? Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, St. Thomas, Bahamas, Canada, all over. But listen, man, I'm making this disclaimer here to name these countries because of what I'm going to be talking about. And some of this might be a trigger for some of you guys, right? But the one thing I want you to take away is this literally can happen anywhere in the world. Outside of growing up in Guyana, I grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant in the 90s, New York City, Brooklyn. That was not the best area to grow up. Let's put it that way, right? And worse than what I'm about to talk about, and did happen many times in that area. And I want to remind you guys who will be like, oh, that country is this city, that you are not going to do certain things in the middle of Manhattan in Times Square. Because what I'm about to talk about can happen there too. You're not going to go to Ontario, Canada and do that. You're not going to go in France and stand around the Eiffel Tower, because I guarantee you it's not going to be about Africa, the continent, or any particular country like Kenya, because no matter what you say, this can happen there too, just slightly different. For my New York people, man, I also grew up in Far Rockaway, right? Far Rockaway, Queens, right? So we're talking about Rockaway Avenue and in the 40s. So you guys, if you grew up there in the 90s, in the early 2000s even, you kind of know what the deal is, right? I want you guys, before you start rushing to judgments and making comments below, that you actually listen out to the entire story. Just do me that favor, because there's also going to be a little bit of surprise at the end of that story, how everything turned out. It's the rainy season here in Nairobi, Kenya. It's been raining a lot. You guys might have heard that there was some floods here in Nairobi. Hell, there was even floods in Dubai. But some people didn't realize that Kenya itself actually also has a winter. That winter runs from like June, July, all the way through August. Now, it doesn't get as cold as in the United States or Canada, not even close. It'll probably be around the high 60s, light jacket required. It'll even get to the low 70s, but it's just been raining a lot. So as many people haven't really been out, it'll get a little chilly during the nighttime. The temperatures will drop. And I decided, well, the only places I can really go are all kind of more indoors, right? You got a drink truck, and you get your little live music on, you get some nice food. I finally had some camel sausage, camel meat. So you got a live game, man. You got real, what do they call it? It's not a live game. It's a term for like gamey food, right? Like whether it's alligator or ostrich and these kind of things. Actually, it wasn't bad at all. So after I left these spots, man, there's a spot that I usually go to in one of the upscale neighborhoods, but it's a little local watering hole in between where the foreigners will usually go. Anyway, what happened to me, and how I almost lost it all, and how some of you guys might actually lose it all, didn't happen in this place. It happened when I walk out of this place. Now, part of that was when these women start to rub up to you or they're too aggressive, you definitely got to tell them no. If they're starting to rub on you too much, dance up on you, start to watch yourself. So I bought a light jacket here. I walk out. The girl sees me on the sidewalk. She's like, hey, baby, take me home, whatever. And she's like, okay, give me your number. Shorty proceeded to snatch my phone, man. No, fellas, I have done everything I usually tell you guys. Don't walk with a too expensive phone. Make sure that you don't have fingerprint lock on, face lock on it to unlock it. None of these things. Use a PIN code. Hell, don't even use a swipe. And don't carry your most expensive phone. So I had an older phone that I bought in the Dominican Republic that I had actually dropped in the water in Brazil. And the screen started to go bad. The phone was cheaper, made in China somewhere. It was not critical for me. So I said, all right, have it. She started to run up the street with it. Next thing you know, I'm walking. A little later, I see a van pull up. The guy started to approach me. Over his shoulder, I see the girl waving. She's waving my phone. The guy approaches me and says, hey, man, you want your phone back? Now I'm like looking at him up and down. I could already analyze he's a police officer. Doesn't have on a uniform. A lot of these countries, sometimes, fellas, you got to understand, some of the police is going to look regular. From the way he was walking, the way he was talking, and the fact that he didn't bring my phone to me. But the girl's in the back of some van that they picked her up in. I already knew what was going to be going down is for me to get that phone back, I was going to have to say, hey, let me slide him something, and then him or her were going to split the little something. So I looked at him and laughed, pretty much said, nah, it's good, let her keep it. She probably needs it more than me, which he was extremely confused by. And then I proceeded to walk away. Now, fellas, what happened there really and truly was that's her friends. That's the scam. And what they were really doing was exactly what I said. They were going to have to, I was going to have to drop him a little something. There was no approach like, hey, man, we found somebody who we took your phone, describe it to me. I have the phone here. Here's your phone back. No, girl was waving it, holding it over his shoulder, showing it. Fellas, there are good people here. I want to give a shout out. There was this taxi driver. Dude charged me nothing. Took me all the way to my apartment, but 35 minutes away. Sent me a message that I saw like a day later saying, hey, sir, can you please send some money to this? I had to call the dude, how much is the ride? The dude said 500 Kenyan shillings. Let me tell you something, it was like $9.50 for me to get from my place to where I went, right? I even gave the guy the money back, explained to him I need a few days because I had to go get a new SIM card. I'm a foreigner, got to use my passport, so I can't go to any and every place. He would say, no problem, man, whenever you want to. And then when I contacted him, he didn't even expect it that day. I gave him a little extra money when he told me how much it is. The guy didn't even say how much at first that I needed to pay him. Let me tell you something. I'll say this again, people. You got 90% good people in the world, 10% of people that are bad or convince themselves they need to do what they need to do out of necessity. I do not want this to be a black eye on Kenya or Nairobi. Yes, it's known for people trying to run away with people's phones here. That's because of the cost. And if you're a foreigner, they're going to assume that you have an iPhone. I've had this happen so many times that I've been here. That is the perception. So either way to say, be safe out there. Check you guys in the next one.